first of all, how do you feel about Love Island being the gateway to fame?
I feel okay about it.
Would you want that? Would you, if you were like, I want to be in the public eye,
Yeah,
creative world,
yeah,
I'm gonna put myself onto Love Island for
mhm,
potentially 2 months
yeah,
of a really long holiday, but not just that constant filming and put myself out
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
And you never know how the public gonna respond to me and
yeah,
how the edit is gonna turn out.
yeah.
Would you take that versus the route of like, do you know what? I'll just do my content and see what happens on the other side.
I think if I were straight, I probably would,
Mm-hmm.
because really the standout people are the ones who have great funny
Yeah.
moments. Even if you're not loved at the time, people's memories are very, very short.
Oh
So
gosh.
all you need to be is memorable.
Yes.
And so if you are, then you've got a career off the back of it. And
Yeah.
if you haven't, then fine. And you just go back to plugging at what you were already doing. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think, like, if you're someone who doesn't make a big career of it, you clearly weren't a massive star in your season and you weren't that memorable. So absolutely fine, rebrand and just be memorable on socials in a different
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't really think, the only thing is that I have a few mates in the industry who are doing well or to varying degrees in kind of the broadcasting, presenting, hosting, whatever that they want to be doing, which is similar to us. And I think they find it difficult to shake off
The Love
the,
Island.
ex Love Islander.
I was gonna
I think there
say.
are a couple who have done well with it. And
Mhm.
I've almost just, they've plugged it out for so many years since their show now. And if you're just constantly doing other things, you become known as doing that.
So those things are your
But
things
I do
now.
think it's hard. Like, obviously, it wasn't a dating show, but for me, having done X Factor however many years ago, for a while it was,
Yeah.
oh, I
Jack
was
from
on that
X Factor.
show.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's never that, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But also that was because when I was on the show, it was already way past its peak in terms of viewership. Whereas I think if you were on
At
Love Island at
peak.
its peak,
Yeah.
you might always, to a large extent, be known as that, regardless of what other accolades you have afterwards.
Yeah. I agree. And I look at like someone like Wes Nelson,
Hmm.
who's a musician in his own right.
I
Um,
was at a thing on Thursday that he performed at,
yeah.
and in my head, I don't follow him, so he's not really on my radar very much. But I'm just like, why is someone from Love Island releasing a song?
Is
Like
that what you
exactly that. Yeah,
think?
yeah, yeah.
What's crazy, maybe it's because I do keep up with what he was doing, but
Right. So you're just like
I
he's a
do,
musician now.
yeah, I just think of Wes Nelson
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah, I don't look, but whereas someone like,
And no shade to him, by the way. Like
no
the song was
shade.
good and he
And
seemed nice. It's just that's what I think of him as.
And also, I always have this thing where like I understand that people want to shake off this. I'm not this, I am this, or this is
Mm,
no longer my identity. But if people have met you from one thing,
yeah.
it's really hard for them to shake that thing off of you. And that's not a bad thing.
But this is why I'm actually glad, work wise, that I don't watch Love Island anymore because so many people in our workspace are from Love
Yeah.
Island. So, like, I'm really close with Chloe Burrows, for instance.
Yes.
I didn't watch her season.
You
And
didn't.
I think I watched the one before that, and then for some reason
Okay.
I just fell off because I'm a bit of a purist with telly.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can't dip in and out. I have
Fairs.
to watch every single episode.
Fairs.
And I just found I was getting to a point, particularly through summer, where like I couldn't
Keep
devote
up.
that time every
Yeah.
night. And once I fall behind, that's it. I won't watch again.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad I didn't watch it because obviously I'd seen like the odd viral thing of
Yeah.
where what Chloe had said of like
Yeah.
that's really muggy or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Um, but I like the fact that my entire friendship with Chloe is I don't have a clue what she was
Watch
like
you.
on the
Yeah. Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
and then you just judge the person off the
Based
back
off.
of it. And so
Yeah.
anybody since that year, which was a few years ago, I've never watched the show,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that that's the case because I feel
Mm.
like I'm able to judge people completely on face value rather than like, oh, from a very small amount of minutes that you got on telly of an edited
Yeah.
24 hours, I wasn't the
Yeah.
biggest fan of you, and
Yeah.
you know.